Hi guys, welcome back. So we are just about to step into another game, and it's very easy, and that's why it's called Easy ABC. This game was designed for three purposes. One, of course, it's very easy, and it was something that my daughter needed because we were teaching her ABCs, and it was getting difficult with the online application, and we wanted just her to listen and understand one letter and one, word associated with it. That was one. Two, we already did a game which was very easy and we did it full fledged, which was the adding of numbers. So we could reuse some of the components and create something innovative out of it. And third, of course, it is because I want you to learn and do your homework. So this assignment was basically your homework. I don't know if you went through the last game's previous lecture or the last lecture for animations. I did explain about the game, but if not, here is a quick overview, and for people who have already gone through the overview and don't want it, that's fine, you can skip to this lecture. But for the rest of them who have not seen the lecture, here is the overview for you. So in this game, what we're going to do is we're going to have one section for letters, one for images, and one for spelling.
Apple.
And as you can see, the moment I do a next, there is a sound that comes up, and that's my recorded sound. I recorded that sound using my Apple device, Apple iPhone 6, using voice memos, and then moved the file into my laptop and then used another software called Audacity and then trimmed it into separate small files. And of course, this file is not hosted on my servers. This file is actually hosted on a third-party client. And if there are third parties who provide you with these services, why not use them? That's what I did. Similarly, the images that you see are images with a background of transparent, which means they do not have any background, so it's easy and it appears to be a part of the game. All these images are of course downloaded from the internet as well, and I uploaded all of them to Imgur. Imgur is a free site that lets you store all your images as a post, and of course I can use the URL to display it on my website. Now that being said, I merged all of that into a small JSON file. That's my data file that I created. Of course, I did share that JSON file in the last lecture of the previous assignment, as well as I will do it in this lecture so that people who are seeing this for the first time and are interested in doing the homework, they can get the JSON file as well as the CSS file. So let me quickly show you what the JSON file is. So you can see the JSON file has a letter A, it has an image, which is this image, it has word, which is of course Apple that gets appeared, it has a letter sound, which means A that I mentioned, A, B, C. Similarly, it has a word sound like apple, banana, cat, and so on. So that's all it consists of. This is your single alphabet object. Now, of course, we have 1 to 26, which means I have an array. So that was the alphabets JSON that was shared with you. The other thing is the app.css, so that you can use the CSS that was already used and created by me. Of course, if you had any question or something did not work, I'm sure you played around with it. So those are the two files that I have shared, and I will share again so that you can use those files to create your own easy ABC. And you do not have to recreate the content like Apple or the sound. And that's what I meant to do when I shared those files. Of course, now comes the point where we discuss the features of the game. Well, there are very small features and it's very easy. So anywhere you click, it will take you to a new letter like B. And of course, if you want to play the sound again, you can click the button
B.
Similarly, you want to do a next,
Banana.
the next image comes up. And if I want to play that again,
Banana.
okay. Now that was about what happens. Now I can also mute the sound. So I can turn the sound off. And if I need to play the sound,
Banana.
I can use the button. And if I do next, nothing happens. Now this was all A to Z. But what happens when I do a previous Z? So you need to make sure that once you go from A to Z, you also can make it a circular fashion so that it is a never-ending game. Now that is done, you can also randomize it. So once I do this, I do a next, zebra comes up and then it goes to W. Now the randomize was because I wanted my kid to understand how things happen, not from A to Z, because always what used to happen is she always remembered A to H and the rest of it was just happening. So what we did was I added a random logic, and now my wife just shows her the letter, she guesses it, and then she says O for orange, and then we show it to her. But if she cannot guess what it is, she can play the sound.
Orange.
And of course, previous is disabled when you're doing random letters. So that's all the logic that you need to implement the game. So again, I will share the JSON file, the CSS file, and of course the URL so you can play along. And if you want to see how I code it, I will start that in the next lecture, where we will code everything from the scratch from our Create React app and deploy it to Heroku. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but I would really appreciate that you give it a shot and try to do it yourself. And if you have any questions, trust me, I will be there to help you. So mostly I respond very quickly. So try me, and of course write as many questions as you can, because I want you to implement the game yourself. Okay? And I'll see you in the next lecture, and let's code together.